I took my boyfriend's virginity and he cried. I have been friends with my BF for some few years before we started dating. He's from Africa and came to US on college scholarship. Him and his friend's circle were just a bunch of guys who we shared the same interests and became friends because he plays soccer and are fans of the same football club. He's always been a chill, adrenaline junkie, joker type, with a dark and peculiar sense of humor. We have been dating for a month and on Saturday I went to his place to watch soccer. After the game was over we were cuddling, and I kissed him. We started making out and soon started having sex. He came really quickly and started crying. I asked him what's while trying to comfort him. He told me it was his first and it was really overwhelming. He told me he has never felt anything like that and gave up pursuing girls due to rejection. I was really surprised as he was the last person I ever to see him crying. I have never seen him cry or even get emotional, just a guy who smiles and laughs even when there's nothing funny to laugh and hardly gets angry or mad. He's tall, above average in looks department, and I always thought he has had a couple of hookups or relationship as he's 25. But I supported him and told him it was okay as he kept apologizing repeatedly. I think he's embarrassed that he's trying to avoid talking about it. I want to know how to help him. He's inexperienced and things didn't go the way he expected/hoped and now he's embarrassed. That and all of the emotions from the pressure to have sex at his age. He'll be okay over time. Just be supportive. I'm male, especially at his age. I feel like there would be a lot of pressure if it was in fact his first time. Quick ejaculation is a thing joked about consistently in all circles, and no guy wants to be that guy. Oh, yeah, it could be embarrassing. You're doing the right thing in reassuring him. I am in exact same situation as your boyfriend when he was virgin. 25-year-old moved to us for grad school. I wish I also find someone understanding as you. I fear of being judged for my virginity at this age. I can understand why he cried. When I was 28, I was head over heels for a man who was 38 and a virgin. It had no bearing whatsoever on my feelings for him. He'd never even kissed a woman before. He was picky and felt like women were better left at the level of professional relationships. So I absolutely felt special that he had feelings far beyond that for me. If someone judges you for being a virgin, they certainly don't deserve to be the one you give it to. Just keep being reassuring. Tell him that it's okay that he cried and you're happy to have been his first. Honestly, this is a very sweet story. As long as you both enjoyed it, who cares how long it lasted? And it's not like you're gonna run around telling the world about it, with identification. Give him lots of love, and as weird as it might sound, tell him what you did like so he can hear from you that you enjoyed it too, even if it was shorter that he wanted. The woman 29F I 34M cheated on my wife 35F with his claiming that her child 5 is mine, and this is bringing back everything that my wife felt 6 years ago. I've been married to the absolute love of my life for 12 years. We have a 7-year-old daughter together. Our marriage was tested 6 years ago, then I got too drunk at an office holiday party, made a fool of myself, and got a hotel room with a co-worker. I sobered up in the middle of the night, got myself home and immediately confessed to her everything. It was spur of the moment. I hadn't been flirting with my co-worker before, I had barely noticed her. It took a very long time, almost 4 years, to get to a new normal for us, but our marriage is much stronger for it. I immediately cut contact with my co-worker and less than 3 weeks later found a new job. I heard through the grapevine that she was pregnant a few weeks after that, and with the help of my wife reached out to her. She said she already knew that she was pregnant with her husband's baby when we slept together. We moved about 2 hours out of that town. Now 6 years later my ex-co-worker got into contact with my wife. She sent her a message saying her husband found out about the cheating and got a paternity test. His daughter was not his and I was the only man she was with at the time, so her daughter is mine. She said she lied about knowing she was pregnant because she didn't want to come between our marriage. She doesn't want anything, but she thinks her daughter should know her real dad. This broke my wife's heart again. She told me that it hurt so much to know that I gave another woman a child while we were married. This is also bringing up all the feelings she felt when this was at its heaviest. I want to help her feel better, but I don't know how. I don't know what I can do about this. Your poor wife and child frown. And the co-worker's husband. Have you thought about marriage counseling? The cynic in me does think that there really is nothing you can do. You fucked up big time, and all you can do is hope and wait until she forgives you. As for the other woman/potential daughter, definitely insist on a paternity test. Definitely get a paternity test. The woman's proven she's willing to lie about the kid's parentage. Chris Rock said you cheat because you want something new. But when your wife finds out she is new, because she will never be the same, now add a child to that. It's up to your wife, but ultimately if this child is yours, no amount of groveling or counseling may fix this relationship grenade. To be honest, if this happened to me, knowing that my husband has a child with a mistress, or whatever you want to call her, would break me. I wouldn't forgive that. Cheating is horrible enough, but you were even dumb enough to fuck up the protection. Sorry to be blunt. Yeah, that would be it. I ain't helping raise an affair baby. And no matter what, whether it's his or not, this is going to bring back every single thing about this affair to his wife. If I was her, I'd be wondering if he knew it was his all along and both of them had lied to me. Probably isn't making it out of this one married. I don't trust anybody that says our marriage is stronger for it in regards to their own infidelity. Yikes. Not to mention our relationship was tested like it was some uncontrollable act of fate like cancer and not his own actions. He really does his best to deflect blame and make this sound like a mutual struggle and suffering they were put through, instead of him hurting her. My previously shitty boyfriend has changed for the better and now treats me wonderfully. Why can't I accept this and move forward in the relationship? I'm sick over it. Update 3 if anyone's still listening. Surprise, surprise, they did kiss. I roll. He admitted it after I pushed again. Apparently lying about that felt right last night. Still saying they didn't fuck, which is of course BS. I told him to leave. Yes, why does this hurt so bad? Update part 2. He gave me partial truth. Said she blew him once and they never even kissed. Of course he's lying. We're in the same place we were yesterday. He's playing the victim a bit, over the top, sobbing and screaming, saying he wants to die, that he's the worst person in the world. Focused on his pain instead of mine, etc etc. I'm too mind-fucked and wrecked to answer all your comments. Thank you for the awards. Update, well, he just admitted to cheating. I'm fried and will get back to y'all tomorrow. I appreciate all of you who took the time to respond. Some of your comments were very helpful. 3-year relationship, both in our late 30s. I'll call him Brad. Brad treated me poorly for the first 2+ years. He was a drunk, I know, once an alcoholic, always. He treated me like an option. Dropped the ball, lied, was inconsistent, etc etc. I'm 99% sure he cheated on me. I was told by a mutual co-worker, and it was confirmed by several people. No hard evidence. He won't admit it to this day. Says the girl made it up and spread the lie. I don't believe him and have told him that repeatedly. The cheating happened over a year ago. And really, when people reconcile after cheating, what do they look for? A partner that's recommitted, that rebuilds trust. And he's done that. But has he really, if he can't take accountability? So he got sober over the summer. He changed completely for the better. Not in an over-the-top way, but in a real, consistent way. I immediately felt a shift in my feelings when he changed. And mine weren't for the better. For the last 5 months he has been everything I've always wanted / knew he could be. But I've been unimpressed. I commend his changes, but I don't feel right. Something feels off. I often cringe at his touch. I force myself to have sex with him sometimes, but only sometimes enjoy it. I avoid him. I want him to leave when he's with me. How am I turned off now? We were having plenty of sex even after he cheated. Now the sex repulses me? How does that make sense? Why can't I accept the love he's giving and showing? I kinda tried to end it the other night but couldn't pull the trigger. He is my best friend. My world is quite small and I have a lot of struggles besides him right now. I'm scared of losing him, of heartbreak, of being alone, of making the wrong decision, etc. I of course will miss him. I can't let go. Our past is a dumpster fire. I'm used to being the victim. Can I come out of this and find the feelings I once had? I've found myself being mean, feeling disgust, contempt. But at the same time I feel love, a softness, a bond. Codependent for sure. I'm racking my brain trying to find answers and solutions. I'll think I've come to a decision and 10 minutes later I'm thinking the opposite. I'm sick with anxiety. The thought of the loss is almost too much to bear. Thanks for listening. Insight, anyone? Holy yeeshi, I'm dealing with this exact same thing. You just can't forgive what happened. Yeah, he changed, but why did he have to drag you through the dirt to do it? You've also changed. After being hurt by someone so many times it's difficult to see them as you did before, even though you feel so fondly for them. I'm working on separating myself from my person like this and it is very difficult because the codependency is so hard to fight. I don't have much advice but I understand you deeply. And I hope you're able to figure out what makes you happy. So true. I can't see him the same. Maybe it's seeing the good and knowing he was capable of it all along but didn't give it to me. You're too right about the codependency. Thanks for commiserating, and I'm sorry you're dealing with the same BS. Listen, here's the answer. You were living in survival mode for 2+ years. You were disrespected and verbally abused and experienced trauma at his hand, only, your body and brain couldn't start processing it, until you were out of survival mode, and your body came out of fight or flight mode. Now that you are safe you are processing emotions and feelings that your brain and body were wholly incapable of processing before. You are starting to feel the justifiable disgust over what he's made you endure that you should have felt 2 years ago but couldn't. You don't love him anymore because of what he did to you and you are only just realizing it now. Has he actually apologized? Has he tried to win back your trust? Or is he behaving better hoping you will be so grateful that you'll never speak of the past again? Not to be vulgar, but if someone spent the last 2 years serving me a shit sandwich every day, I would never trust any sandwich they gave me ever again, even if it looked fine from the outside. Why do you feel you are deserving of shit sandwiches? Do you even like yourself? I'm not trying to be harsh, and I feel like that sandwich metaphor is about to get away from me and take a real weird turn. I'm just trying to get you to start thinking about yourself and how you deserve to put yourself first. Not being happy anymore and not having trust is a perfectly valid reason to end a relationship. Are you looking for permission, maybe? In that case, Giant Squid gives you permission to love yourself more than you love him. Giant Squid gives you permission to leave him and seek your own happiness. He apologizes often for the past in general. When the cheating is brought up he shuts down, then minutes later he is crying and apologizing in general. I know in a way he's apologizing for cheating but he can't bring himself to say it. And I think you're right, he's behaving better and hoping it negates the past. I don't like myself. Have a lot of issues including some pretty serious mental health problems. I know that's a sticking point here but it's hard to suss out. Perhaps I am also seeking permission. Thank you Giant Squid. A few months of him being neat is not enough to undo the damage of years of mistreatment. I think your body and mind are telling you to kick this man to the curb. You should never force yourself to be with anyone, emotionally or physically. It's okay to say enough is enough, I'm done. From reading what you've wrote, it makes me feel like either two things happened. One, you just can't get over him cheating, and which makes sense considering he still isn't owning up to it to this day. Most people aren't able to get over infidelity even when they choose to continue the relationship. They can't recover their feelings from such an extreme betrayal. Or two, you might be addicted to the highs and lows of an actively volatile relationship, and find it difficult to separate drama and passion. I urge you to consider past relationships and see if that's a pattern. I also think your relationship doesn't really sound healthy or fulfilling at all. Even though he's changed, he still hasn't admitted to cheating on you. You're both codependent, you don't even like being around him. If I were you I would cut my losses. You deserve to be in a relationship that makes you happy. Yes and yes. Highs and lows. Even now I feel I may just be creating chaos. My issues with him are real, but stirring it up and not actually ending it is just giving me more chaos. It's not much of a pattern as I haven't had many serious relationships and my last one was stable until the end. But it's still true now. Childhood bullshit, whatever. It's not healthy, at least not for me. Shit.